Today, we're going to explore the incredible story of Nicosia, but forget the dusty history books. We're going to use the city itself as our guide. We're going to learn how to read its history, right there in its stones, its buildings, and the very layout of its streets.
Just think about that for a second. What if every single stone in Nicosia could actually talk? The story it would tell? Wow. It would be an epic of empires clashing, of different faiths, and above all, of sheer survival. That's the idea we're running with today. The city is our narrator.
You know, Nicosia is this amazing paradox. On one hand, it's ancient. People have lived here for thousands of years. But on the other, it's home to a very modern problem. It's the last capital city in the world that's physically split in two. So we're literally going to walk through time by looking at the marks each era left behind.
And this is the key, right? Every arch, every dome, every style we're about to see, it isn't just about looking pretty. Each one is like a new chapter in the city's diary. It tells you who is in charge, what they cared about, and how they saw the world. It's a language, and we're going to learn how to speak it.
All right, let's rewind. Way back, before all the grand cathedrals and giant walls, Nicosia was just a humble settlement. This is the bedrock of its history, a story about basic survival and the first attempts to build something that would last.
Just look at this timeline for a moment. The sheer scale is kind of mind-blowing. We're covering thousands of years right here. We're going from little mud brick villages to the very first organized Greek city called Lydra, all the way to the Romans showing up with their incredible engineering. These are the deep, ancient roots of the city.
Can you picture it? 5,000 years ago, life was all about being practical. Architecture wasn't meant to impress anybody. It was about having a roof over your head. These mud brick homes were the very first words in Nicosia's long, long story.
And then the Romans show up, and they are the ultimate game changers. They were the great organizers. They didn't just build things, they engineered entire systems. They laid down paved roads, built aqueducts. They gave the city a skeleton, a framework that, incredibly, you can still trace in the old city today.
So the next phase is when Nicosia's famous skyline really starts to take shape. This is when buildings stop being just about shelter and become huge statements about what you believe, who's in charge, and, as we'll see, what you're afraid of.
During the Byzantine period, faith becomes the absolute center of everything. Churches, with those iconic domes, start popping up all over the place. And these weren't just quiet little chapels. They were massive stone structures that screamed strength and divine power. They became the heart of every single neighborhood.
Then a French royal family, the Lusignans, take over, and they basically bring a piece of medieval Paris to the Mediterranean. Their Gothic style was all about height. Soaring ceilings, pointed arches. It was designed to make you feel small, to make you look up, way up, and be in awe of both God and the king. It totally changed the vibe of the city.
11. Okay, remember that number, because for the next chapter of Nicosia's story, when the Venetians are in charge, everything comes down to defense. They were terrified of the Ottoman Empire, and they channeled all that fear into building one of the most incredible fortifications in the world.
Think about how ruthless this plan was. To get their perfect circle, their perfect fortress, the Venetians just demolished huge sections of the medieval city. They bulldozed history to build a massive wall that completely redefined the city's shape, creating the walled city we still see today.
But here's the thing about fortress walls. Somebody's always going to figure out a way to get past them. The Ottomans eventually conquered Nicosia, and that brought another huge shift in how the city looked and felt. This next period is all about how the city turned inward, and eventually, how it was torn apart.
And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? Gothic was public, it was loud, it was meant to be seen. Ottoman design was the total opposite. It was private, human-scaled, and hidden. Life happened in these beautiful inward-facing courtyards, not in big public squares. A much quieter rhythm took over the city.
After the Ottomans, the British arrived, and they brought a very different kind of order. Their architecture wasn't about God or defense. It was about administration. It was about function. They built the machinery of a modern government, offices, schools, hospitals. And for the first time, the city really started to spill out beyond those old Venetian walls.
So you have this long, continuous story, right? For centuries, it's just one layer being built on top of another. But what happens when that story just stops, dead in its tracks?
The division of the island in 1974 created what's called the Green Line, a buffer zone that slices right through the city's heart. And in that zone, time just stopped. Buildings were abandoned overnight, shops with goods still inside, homes with family photos still on the wall. It's an architectural ghost town, literally frozen in time.
So after all that history, all that conflict, where does that leave Nicosia today? Well, the final chapter, for now at least, isn't about a new empire. It's about people trying to piece this fractured story back together. And this is the hopeful part. On both sides of that line, people are starting to work together to save this incredible shared heritage. They're restoring old Ottoman mansions and Gothic churches, trying to heal the city's wounds, one stone at a time.
So when you walk through Nicosia, you're not just in one time period. You're walking through all of them at once. You can see the echoes of those ancient villagers, the precision of the Roman engineers, the ambition of the Gothic kings, the privacy of the Ottoman families, the order of the British, and yeah, the sad silence of a city divided. It's all right there.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. The story written in Nicosia's stone isn't always a happy one. It's full of conflict, but it's honest. It's a real record of everything this city has been through, and it's this powerful reminder of our incredible ability to adapt, to survive, and to just keep on building.